Very, very cool. Hi, Mel. Thanks for coming on to chat with me.
Not at all.
Do you want to introduce yourself and say what you're doing? I mean, I know a lot of people who are watching this probably know already, but
yeah, so if you haven't met me already, my name's Mel. I'm a primary school teacher for many years, like you, Kirsty.
Primary school teacher and deputy head of many years.
Yeah, and just in the last few years, sort of we've had some family circumstances that have made us just really look very carefully at our sort of mental health as well as our physical health, and so I became more and more interested in relaxation for children, how to teach it to children. I had a really interesting training with Relax Kids, which is a brilliant intervention used sort of worldwide, which is a sort of intervention to use with children to get them to learn more about emotions, where they feel it in their body, and things that they can do to learn tools and techniques to actually empower them to deal with their emotions themselves. And they're things that I really wish that I'd learned when I was younger. We didn't, we probably didn't know so much about the brain and our emotions and feelings and how it works, but we know so much more now about the brain, how it works, our emotions, our feelings, our thoughts, and how they're linked to our actions, and things that we can do to either interrupt some of those sort of negative thoughts or states, and things that we can do ourselves to calm and relax ourselves. And I think it's so brilliant that you've got this, all within ourselves. It's just sort of tapping into it sometimes, and hopefully I'm the sort of guide that helps people find some of those tools and techniques.
So you're going to share some with us today, right? Some mindfulness techniques for adults that they can use them themselves or with the children or with other family members. We're going to have mindfulness techniques, some breathing techniques.
Absolutely, yeah.
To calm, and some self-massage reflexology. So with mindfulness, so if for parents, for adults as well, and children, it's the same. We all need to have some What is mindfulness, Mel?
It's something that we're sort of striving for all the time, but it's just trying to be in the moment, trying to be present. And generally our lives are all, very busy, with people, with things, with work, with commitments. And so it's trying to find some space to calm your head and your brain.
So it's a bit like in my world, it's about having that time to maybe focus on you, on your health or your nutrition, and actually
absolutely
time to walk away and be in the moment.
Yeah, and it's really hard to do. There's lots of distractions, there's lots of noise and things around us to distract us, so it can be hard to find. For me, one of the things I find really does it for me is there's a yoga class I go to, and I found a brilliant teacher. She's really challenging, and I find that I'm working hard to make my body do what it needs to do. And it's the one thing that I find that I'm completely in the moment. I can't think about, I probably go in thinking about, have I got the tea ready, and are they going to be all right now I've gone out? But it's the one thing that I find. So it's just finding that thing for you that works. It might be, a trainer session. It might be on the TRX, or it might be running. It might be swimming.
About running, actually, just when I was training with some others. I've been injured with a sprained ankle, and a couple of others have been injured. And we're chatting, saying it's not about going out and working your body as much with running for us. I mean, we like running, so it's about the mindfulness aspect. It's actually going out for a bit of a plod and just that repetitive movement and just being in the moment and letting your mind work through things. I find when I go for a walk, like across the field with Archie, or that's that time. So what kind of techniques would you say, Mel, for people wanting to be more mindful?
So, I mean, one of the things that you've got, with you all the time is your hands. And people think about perhaps reflexology and sort of the pressure points on the feet and understand how that works. But of course, we've got all those points on our hands as well. Our hands are a complete mirror image of those sort of acupressure points that reflexologists use. Now, I'm not a reflexologist. I have to say. But there are some brilliant points on your hands that you can access that can bring you some relaxation and some calm. And it comes with the, proviso, of course, you don't do this over, broken skin or an infection or sunburn or anything like that. But a great spot is just right in the middle of the hand, because that point there represents our solar plexus. So just like the middle of the foot, the middle of the hand, and you can apply pressure, you can do little circles. A nice one to do, and this is actually called the calm button or the hug button, is you can, with your hand, you can bring it down and press and breathe in. And lift your hand and breathe out. And it doesn't matter which hand you do it on. You can press, you can rotate, and that is giving your diaphragm there and your solar plexus, it's sending a really lovely message to your brain to say, just relax. What you're aiming to do is to try and slow your breathing down, because most of us, a lot of the time, are breathing sort of up here. And we're aiming to try and move our sort of breathing to slow it down, sort of down into your diaphragm. And not to get too sort of technical about it, but what we're trying to sort of switch off our parasympathetic nervous system, which is our fight and flight one, and switch on to our sympathetic nervous system, which is the one that's sending the messages to the brain to say, relax, it's okay, you're safe. With children, a really lovely breathing technique is just high five. Again, they've got their hand, they don't have to, draw attention to themselves, they could do it under the table. And it's that whole idea that they're concentrating on something. So they trace around, you have whichever hand, it doesn't matter, you trace around with your other finger. As you travel up the finger, you breathe in. At the top, you just hold the breath for a second or so, and then you breathe out. And you can talk about it being like a roller coaster or mountain breathing, sometimes I call it. Breathe in again.
And that's really nice for adults, actually, if they're watching TV or something.
Yeah, absolutely. And because you're doing something physical and slowing your breathing down, I've got sometimes I use visuals with children, so they're actually just making that connection between their left and right brain, and they're following that. And it's a way to sort of get them to be in the moment. And in teaching breathing techniques to children, you're really trying to do it. I do it in my I run an after school club on Mondays called Beautiful Brain Club. And one of our sections is breathing. And the idea is that while the child is happy and relaxed and calm, you teach the breathing technique then, because when they are dysregulating or they've got a big emotion, there's no way that they're probably going to be able to, right, let's do some breathing. They're just not in the right space. The bits in the brain aren't talking to each other. So teaching it to them when they're calm and relaxed, lots of different ones. It's great because it means that they'll have that little bank that they might think, oh, Mel told me about dragon breathing. You breathe in, you breathe out your hot, fiery breath onto your hands. Or I remember Mel talking about flower breathing. Hold your lovely flower. Blow the petals. So anything where the child has got some sort of little visual clue that they can reference is just really helpful.
Just bring them down. What's a hot chocolate one now? There was a hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate. So you visualize your favorite mug.
Yeah.
You've got your cream and your marshmallows on top. So you're going to breathe in through your nose into that lovely chocolatey scent. And breathe out to blow the steam. So we've got all sorts. So we've got spiral breathing, we've got teddy bear breathing, just anything that gives the. So teddy bear breathing is when you effectively are giving yourself a hug. So you go into hug pose, you stretch your arms out, and then whichever way works for you, and then give your teddy a hug. And breathe out. Another nice one is children can lie on their backs and they can put their cuddly on their tummy and they can make him go for a nice ride up and then a nice ride down, and then they can feel that change in their sort of physiology, in their
I do that with adults, to imagine that a book is on their tummy. So when they're lying down, the book is rising and down. And then there's another one we do with candles. So yeah, you're lying down, you're relaxing, and you're imagining as you breathe in, the candle is still, and as you exhale, the candle dances and it flickers. And
absolutely.
that breath.
And then, you know, for children, things like bubble blowing, if they like blowing bubbles, they don't have to have the bubbles, obviously, they can just do that. And the nice one about bubble breathing is that they can put something in that bubble. You know, you've got a little niggle or a worry, something happened, let's breathe it into the bubble. So you breathe in through your nose, breathe it out, and off it floats. Or you can, you know, you can sort of pop it. So it's just a way for children to have fun and get curious about that idea that, you know, feelings and emotions come and they go, and, you know, all are fine, but it's just accepting them and finding some ways, to deal with them all. Sort of
who we are. So adults can do that as well. I'm just thinking of, you know, when you're feeling stressed and you're having to taxi the kids everywhere, or be everywhere, or work is really fraught.
Yes,
having that moment to breathe just brings your senses down a little bit, doesn't it? Brings your pulse down a little bit, stops overreactions.
Yeah,
and it just calms you down, because as soon as we start being up on high, everything just feels much harder.
Yeah, and you're not thinking straight. I mean, I talk to the children about their different brains. We have our owl brain up here, which is our thinking, our wise brain. We have our monkey brain, which is our amygdala, which deals with our emotions and feelings. And then we have our little lizard brain at the back, which deals with just our, you know, our basic functions, our breathing and our heart rate and our pulse. And, you know, when those brain frames don't get on and don't get what they need, then all are flaps off. And, you know, there's monkey brain and lizard brain getting up to all sorts of tricks. So you can't think straight, you can't think logically. So and there's all sorts of brilliant apps and things for breathing. So you've got like a little visual tool. You know, another nice one is square breathing. So you just think of that square in your head, and you breathe along for 4, hold it, breathe out, hold it. And it's trying to remember that short sort of hold in between, not like holding your breath when you go under the water, but just there is a point where you're not breathing in and you're not breathing out, you're just holding it. And anyone who's seen all the sort of Wim Hof, you know, freeze the fear, it's really fascinating, isn't it, those breathing techniques, because it does show you that we're not actually probably breathing as deeply and as much as we're capable of quite a lot of the time. So getting into a habit of just, like you say, every now and again, just thinking you've got something going on, you recognize you're flustered, or you feel a bit overwhelmed, or you're annoyed, or just try and come into your breath for a little minute, and you'll probably feel your whole sort of physiology in your body changing.
And you can do that from really early, like as young as possible. And
absolutely,
I remember doing it. Well, we did some work with one of my children, and we practiced it. And actually, we put on meditation music at the same time.
Yes,
and that helped. So we all quite like music in our family, and for us, when we're needing to calm down or have a bit of time and practice breathing, quite often we'll put music on.
Yeah, absolutely. Well. And you know, like you say, sometimes it's words for people, sometimes it's music, sometimes it's something instrumental. It's finding the thing that works for you. My daughter's got a CD, an audiobook at the moment. She's heard it thousands and thousands of times. She knows the story, but now she's just made that connection. So it's one of the CDs plays, and that's sending a message to her brain saying, oh, I'm in bed, I'm relaxing, I'm going to sleep. And because she's done it so many times, actually that's her go-to now.
And so what would you say to people that are dealing with children who are maybe, or themselves, who are feeling highly anxious and stressed, and, you know,
I try and find a little bit of space in. I mean, it might be that you find, you know, that there's a mindfulness or meditation app that you like. I really love listening to guided visualizations. There's lots of. I'll pop one over to you that, you know, there's lots that I use with the children, but it's just that whole thing of just, going into your body a little bit and just allowing yourself to calm down, and being gentle and kind to yourself. I've just started doing some, I've got to the end of my tapping training now, which is a new, really interesting modality, emotional freedom technique. And the idea behind that is that you are just releasing some of the sort of blockages in your, energy pathways that build up through all sorts of things, through circumstances, through things that happen, through trauma, through emotional things. You're releasing that. So if you can find something, it might be a sport, or it might be music, something that allows you to just release some of that overwhelm.
Time management, isn't it, with that as well? Like we make time to probably exercise probably more than we do for mindfulness.
Possibly, yeah.
So it is about having that time management. I know my watch always tells me to take a moment.
Yeah, I mean, I've just got a lovely app that just sends me affirmations. Yes. You can get those because, and one of the things I teach the children to do is do affirmations, because we think about, we all, unfortunately, our brain is wired to protect us. So we have these automatic negative thoughts which come. They're not always positive. Oh, I don't think you should try that, or that might not work out. Don't think you're good enough, clever enough, whatever enough. So I talk to children about ants, automatic negative thoughts, and just noticing them and flipping them for some pets, some positive, empowering thoughts, because it happens all day long. And just stopping and noticing them, saying, what are you saying to yourself? Are you saying kind words? Generally, most of us are whizzing around looking after everybody else and saying kind things and supportive things and encouraging things to them. But we're not always saying those kind things to ourselves. So, trying to remember, I am okay. I am.
A bit sort of going off on a tangent, but it's a bit like social media. So social media, quite often people think that is their sort of mindfulness time to be in the moment, but quite often people can scroll and then they've spent half an hour scrolling, so I mean, I know people have had lots of success with timers on their phone.
Yes.
So they have timers that basically tell them when they've had their screen time up for the day. Adults, as if not kids.
Yes.
But that can really help. And also, when you were saying about the negative thoughts, the people on social media, unfollow people that don't give you positivity.
Absolutely. Block them, delete them, unfollow them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If you notice that you're thinking, actually, I'm still following this person, they're not making me feel good about myself.
Yeah.
Or, I'm constantly comparing my life to theirs. Just be kind to yourself and don't put yourself through it anymore. Just like you say, unfollow them, delete them, block them, whatever you need to do to not have them. You just, I can't remember what the thing is about, surround yourself with, you are a sort of, a total of all that energy that surrounds you, so surround yourself with positive people that are going to reflect that back to you, so you feel good about yourself. Don't waste your time. We have so little. Don't waste your time with those people who drain it from you.
And then another tangent is kind of nutrition, really, with mindfulness and mindlessness.
Absolutely.
So I find that a lot of people, including myself, and lots of us can be mindless eating. So especially with snacks, you can you could get through so much. You might open a big pack of Family Crisps, and you're there watching TV, and you're just mindlessly eating it, and then you're like, oh, where have they gone?
How did that happen?
You haven't thought about it. So I try and encourage those people like on the reset to say, okay, just be really aware, or plan out your food so you know what you're going to have. So you're not mindlessly just grabbing things out of the fridge. Plan out your food. So it's a bit like planning out your life.
Yes.
To help you to have some mindfulness time, isn't it? And then be aware of your snacks, be in the moment. So a lot of people have lunch on the go, much more now that life has become quicker again. Lunch on the go, breakfast on the go. But sit down, take a moment, even if it's 5 minutes, try and come away from the computer screen.
Yeah.
But I find that when people are having their lunch away from the computer screen, eating slower, being aware of what they're eating, they start to enjoy their food, and then they snack less because they've just had enjoyment.
And take the time. Sometimes I think we think about, it's only in the restaurant that we think about the garnish, or the No, you know, it's you feast with your eyes as well as your stomach and your mouth. So make it colourful and appealing. Put the garnish on it. Why it doesn't just have to be going out? It's your meal. You're nourishing yourself. And one of the brain characters that I talk about, our lizard brain. One of the things that I talk about, looking after our lizard brain, because if he goes on high alert, he could start causing trouble for us. But one of the things that he needs is a healthy snack. And a drink of water. So sometimes one of the first things, if you sense a feeling coming in your body, just go and have a glass of water. If it can be cold water, even better, because sometimes that can really stop that anxiety in the moment, because you've got that mindfulness, but also, physically you're doing something that's going to benefit your body. So a healthy snack, glass of water. You talked about getting out in nature. Again, that's something that our lizard brain absolutely loves, just being out in nature, taking your shoes off, walking in the grass, those sorts of things. And it's not just sort of woo-woo, I think it's going to be good for you. There's lots and lots and lots of clinical research about the way that those things, are good for us, are good for our brain and how we feel about ourselves.
It keeps our cortisol levels level, doesn't it?
Absolutely. We've got this medicine cabinet in our brain, but as well as releasing all those healthy hormones and chemicals, the nervous system can also release all those the adrenaline and all those ones. It's not good to have those in our body for a long time, and we know now lots of studies to say that having cortisol and adrenaline in your system over a long period of time is not good for your body. So what we want to try and do is we want to try and dampen all that down and just release those good hormones.
Trying to get that right moment. I mean, I'm really passionate about daily movement, because if someone comes to me, quite often when people first meet me, I ask them what their daily movement is, and they're not sure, so go and track. And quite often it's like 2,000 or 3,000 steps a day. And that's because they're usually sitting at a desk and they're just not aware. And then as they become more aware, usually the first thing is you set a target for 5,000 steps, say, then 6, and then 7,000 steps. I try and get people to have as a baseline, then some days it's more. But when you're getting at least 7,000 steps a day, you know this yourself.
Yes.
You feel so much better because you're having all that fresh air, you're in the moment, and you're taking that time, and we don't prioritize it enough. So after this chat, Simon and I are going to go for a walk, because it's really hot today.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah. And have a bit of a chat and just have some time.
Yeah.
And just be out there in the moment. So it's a bit like the five ways of well-being, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And as teachers, apparently we are absolutely dreadful for not dipping in the wells and then thinking, oh, holiday time, just submerge myself completely. So it's just trying to think, what can I do, like you say, every day, and it doesn't have to be a long amount of time, just like a little snippet. It might be a lovely bath. It might be, your favorite song playing.
And let's think of some different things that people could do. Let's think, we could think of 10, can we? So there's a meditation app, a bath. I like that idea. So what would be good actually for people to write down and have maybe a list of 10 things they could do for mindfulness, put it in the back of a cupboard?
Yes.
Some ideas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Food as well. Write down some ideas for dinners. Put them in the back of the cupboard, so it's your plan B. So when you have no idea what to cook because you're just too much going on, you can look in the cupboard and go, oh yes, we could do beans on toast.
Yeah, absolutely. It might be looking through photos. Really lovely, happy photos. It might be, listening to your favorite piece of music. Now, music has a powerful effect. So, is it music that you want to feel energized by? Is it music you want to feel calm and relaxed by? Everybody will have their own playlist. You might get a playlist together on your phone. This is my calm list. This is my energized list. It might be that you're just actually going to be in the moment and give yourself a little hand massage. Just connecting it. You don't have to use oils or lotion. You can just press and, play with your hands, give them a little tug. Remember that little calm spot there. Your thumb to your head. If you've got a headache, that's a great one to press. If you've got neck ache, that's the neck round there. This spot here, if you pinch between your thumb and your forefinger, it's it's actually called the Great Eliminator, apparently. So it's wonderful for constipation, which I didn't know, but it's also, I find it great for headaches. So if you've got a headache, I find that will just stop it in its tracks. And just a little hand massage might allow you to just come into your body for a little minute, because that's not something that we do very often.
Yeah.
Another really nice one, you'd be looking at a screen. I'll take my glasses off. It's called Little Shutters. So I've forgotten the rhyme. There's a little rhyme that goes with it. You just rub your hands till they get really nice and warm and hot. You close your eyes and you just rest your hands over your eyes.
And breathe.
And breathe.
That would be nice with some essential oils and some massage on your hands, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, I might put that into my stretch and relax sessions now.
Yeah, it's really nice. There's a little rhyme that goes with it because it's essentially like a sort of yoga one. But yeah, it might be you do a yoga stretch.
Yeah, and head massage is nice, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. The temples is a great place.
Yeah.
A really nice one is just furrowing out the lines. Getting rid of the lines out there, that always feels nice. And any sort of a face massage, just big circles. Yeah. That little bit at the back where it dips in. And because of course it's on yourself, you're not doing it on anyone else, you know exactly how much pressure to apply. You can be firm and, you know, intentional. I'm going to bring some calm into your body. It might be that you have a color that you want to bring into your body that makes you feel good. I was talking to a young man today, we were doing some coaching, and children are so open and receptive to sort of the ideas about this. And we spun his feelings. He was talking about a feeling he has in his body. It was red and it's spiky. It went up and down his arms and his legs. It had a horrid sound that went to it. And we spun it to something else. So we changed the color, we put a lovely sound with it. And he visualized that in his body. And that's what's so brilliant about working with children, is that they're so open and curious about, you know, sometimes the grown-ups are like, I don't think I could do that.
But you get it out now. You're so good. You're so good. I've seen you in your sessions. You're brilliant.
But we all have that power within us to tap into ourselves, to visualize, you know, if you have got a fantastic, brilliant place that you love, that makes you feel happy and relaxed, go there in your head, close your eyes, look at and keep your eyes closed. Imagine yourself there, what you're wearing, what you can hear, what you can see, and just turn up the sounds and the sights and the colors. Your brain doesn't know the difference between actually being there and not being there, which I always find a bit weird to get my head around, but it doesn't. So you can be in that place in your head, sitting in your...
And that can help the children who find it hard to get to sleep, or adults as well, adults and children, anyone who finds it hard to go to sleep, using all these breathing techniques, the visualization, you know, using your breath. So when you're saying about the square, I talk about breathing around a window, and then you imagine what is around the window.
Yes.
Like the cottage, where is that cottage?
Yeah, lovely. So and for some children it might be, I don't know, I've got children who are obsessed with Minecraft at the moment, so it might be, you know, Minecraft breathing, that it's the square shape. Another thing for grown-ups and children is, you know, journaling. It might be that actually, you know, getting your feelings out, or reflecting on things, or being intentional about how you want your day or week to go. Some people find journaling, I haven't managed to get into it. I have got some really nice journals that my children use. And there's, you know, there's lots on the market, but some people find, you know, writing down their thoughts, their feelings, what they're planning to do, they find that you know, a good way to be in the moment and be sort of intentional about their day and how they like to feel.
Yeah, I'm not journaling, but I have journaled before, and I do find it helps to focus me.
Yes.
If I'm going through a tougher time, or dealing with, I don't know, illness or something going on, it does help me. But I'm a list person, so that really helps me. So with my brain, I'm quite active and creative. I had a session today with a guy who's my mentor. He was like, Kirsty, in this half-hour session, we have talked about 101 things. He's like, really, all these things. He goes, how is your brain working so quickly? You know, but But it's this, but I write lists, and then
Yeah,
and that's how I work.
yeah.
But now, before we finish, you mentioned about your sessions with children. Do you want to talk through quickly what a session kind of looks like? Because your sessions, I mean,
Yeah.
I've had experience with your sessions, and they're brilliant.
Yeah, thank you. So, so I run an after school club called Beautiful Brain Club. That's on Mondays, straight after school. And so that session for our group, we go through. It's sort of on a relaxed kids style. So we move, we play games. So we're quite energetic and quite busy at the beginning. Then we do some lovely yoga stretches. Then we do some breathing techniques. Then we do some peer massage, and of course, positive touch is just a fantastic way to feel good inside. Then we talk about positive words and affirmations, and then finally we have a lovely guided relaxation at the end. So
And where is this? Is it in Chatwell?
so at the moment we're searching for a new venue, but you can contact me. We're at Emmanuel Church on Mondays, Beautiful Brain Club, between 3:30 and 4:30. And I'm hoping to run some holiday sessions as well. So if you were to follow me on Facebook or Instagram, I'm My Beautiful Brain, then you would sort of see news of that. And when I coach children one-to-one, it's very similar, but of course it's more to do with their particular needs. It might be that they need some help with confidence or friendship issues. It might be that they need some help with understanding a big emotion. They might be experiencing some anger or some sadness. And it's really just trying to tap in, with the child where they're at currently, and the tool or technique that would be really helpful for them. There's so many brilliant resources out there. I use storybooks an awful lot as well, because that's a lovely way for children to learn about different experiences through a little character or an animal or another child that's not themselves. It sort of separates it a bit from them. I've got a workshop for parents as well coming up in John Lewis in the Discovery Room, which I'm looking forward to. So that's next Wednesday. That's between 10 and 12. And that's an opportunity, a bit like this really, to talk in more depth about the sorts of things that we can use with our children to help calm and relax them. Because there's not many children, pre-pandemic or post-pandemic, that are without some worry or anxiety. Some children, manage it better than others. And some just need a little bit of guidance to things that they can do themselves, just to understand and manage it a bit better.
Oh, that sounds brilliant. Oh, well, I'll share that for you as well. I bet lots of people find
Thank you.
Maybe we could do a workshop at some point together.
That would be lovely. I'd love to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it'd be really nice. Well, thank you for chatting to me. It has been
Not
really
at all.
great, and it's really made me think about mindfulness. I'm going to go make a mindful playlist.
Yeah, and think how that playlist, because we've all got our favorite songs, haven't we? But think how you want to. There are times when we actually, we want to feel sad, or we want to feel thoughtful. We don't have to push these feelings away from us. We can, welcome them in, and then just be with them a bit, and then sort of move on.
So like having songs from your past and songs that remind you of special people, and
absolutely. And the songs will take you straight there to those moments, a bit like having that special place in your head. The music is just such a powerful link in your brain. So yes, enjoy.
Oh, thank you.